All right, I want to go to Ben Stein on all this because he's looking too at these cross currents, the capitalist code, author, best-selling author, so much. But you know, Ben, the argument has been you got all of this worry out there, gas prices rising, a trade war brewing, and all of that. Earnings could save the day; they're going to be good, but the market would have to, everything would have to go just right, right?
No, it doesn't have to go just right. It has to go pretty much right. But you know, this is a market that has been looking past a lot of immediate, near-term crises and looking at the long run. And the long run looks awfully, awfully good. We have very high labor force participation, extreme shortage of labor. We have very, very good, optimistic business climate coming out of the White House. This is a market that I think is pricing in various short-term difficulties, but saying that in the long run things look awfully good. And as you correctly point out, bank earnings will be coming out soon. People are anticipating good bank earnings. Of course, they'll be mixed. They will not be all good. But the market is obsessed with bank earnings, largely because the market is made up largely of people who work at banks. So I don't think this rally today is overdoing it at all.
You know, a lot of the market's performance of late, since we started agitating with the Chinese and they with us, has been built on how that could go. In other words, the worse it looks, or the more likely for tariffs or really heightening trade tensions, the worse for stocks. The less likely that looks, the better for stocks. Do you think that is how this plays out?
Well, I think we are exaggerating the effect of the tariffs and of trade generally. This is a country, people don't realize this, of all the very large industrial countries, this one is the least dependent on trade of any of the big countries. Now, certain parts of the country are very dependent on trade, but in general, we're talking about magnitudes which are just not large enough to affect the stock market the way they've been affecting it. Once people get the idea that even if there is a tariff dispute with China, even if tariffs go up or down or are moving around for a while, it's not going to affect very much the prices of what you're paying at the grocery store or at the appliance store or online. The newspapers are making, or I guess there are no newspapers anymore, the media is making too much of a big deal of the whole thing. The magnitudes just are not big enough to move the market as much as they've been moving it.
Well, you know, in the past, these things do and have a record of getting out of hand. And I know you personally covered the whole Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act in 1930. And that started with about 20 items and finished with over 20,000 items. Now, I'm not saying history repeats itself, but do you worry about that this could get out of control?
Well, you happen to be talking to the only person you'll ever meet in your entire life who read A Monetary History of the United States by Milton Friedman and Anna Schwartz, which is about a 2,000-page book about what caused the Great Depression. And Smoot-Hawley or Hawley-Smoot was part of it, but only a small part of it. Mostly it had to do with faulty monetary policy. So I don't think we have any precedent for a trade war causing a depression. A trade war causing imbalances and causing crises in various industries, temporary crises, yes. But that's not going to happen.
Do you think the president is right to I understand where you're coming from. Do you think the president is right to be doing what he's doing, to expose the Chinese for what he says the cheaters they are, and that this is a good thing for us to know?
Well, I don't think he should be being incautious about it, but the Chinese have been cheating about unfair trade practices for a hell of a long time, especially about intellectual property. And I think I give credit to Mr. Trump for confronting them. I don't think he should have confronted them in as brash a way as he did, but I give credit to him for confronting them. It's not right that we should be having our intellectual property ripped off by them without getting some compensation. And they've had this reputation forever. And let's at this point at least shine the spotlight on it.
You're a free market guy, though, and I think at the time when Nixon,
very much so.
Okay, when Richard Nixon has wage and price controls, when Republicans veer into this sort of thing, should they?
No, nobody should veer into it, but people should go into it delicately and firmly. I mean, I have this, there's a famous satire of James Bond in which they say that the spies should be taken to the roof and politely but firmly shot. And I don't say that in this particular case, but the Chinese should be taken to the roof and said, look, we are tired of being pushed around like this. We're not going to be pushed around like this forever. We're going to take steps. And by the way, the Chinese will say, okay, well, then you can't manufacture our stuff here anymore. Look, we can manufacture anything we want in Taiwan. We can manufacture anything we want in Thailand. China is not the only high-tech manufacturing center in the world. They are vulnerable too. And by the way, they need us too.
Well, the president claims they need us a lot more than we need them.
Well, they need us very badly. Their economy is strong, but they have tremendous debt overhang from various state enterprises. They need to keep exporting to us. They need that very, very badly. And if we are strong with them, I think they will play ball with us.
So you don't think this trade thing is any big deal?
I think it's a big deal. It's definitely a big deal. The markets are making it into a big deal. But a year from now, I don't think we'll even be thinking about it.
Wait, had I known that, I would not have done these fancy graphics with the dramatic music. I didn't quite factor that in. Ben Stein, it's always a pleasure, my friend.
You always make fun of me.
No, I don't. No, I am in awe of you,
yes, you
as
do.
our viewers.
You make fun of them.
Billions from around the world.
Me.
No, an IQ of like a gazillion. Ben Stein.